Hello. Welcome back to Sparkle on Substack with me, Claire Venus. I am so excited today. I'm going to do a little 2024 recap, share some of my creative process and practice, and also give you a little bit of an insight into what's coming in 2025. So it's been a really beautiful time to just slow down and stop. There was a couple of points last year where I was slightly concerned about burnout just because of my relationship with on being online, Substack, delivering, the way that my business had grown. All of those things were just kind of giving me those warning signals of like, actually, I think it's okay that we just stop this now. So there was two polar things going on at once. One of them was this real push to complete the vision, and the vision is from 2020. So we're kind of tracking back, well, 5 years now. We're in the start of 2025. So tracking back a kind of 4 or 5 year vision and feeling inside of that vision. So kind of going like, I'm a big believer in vision boards and affirmations and really designing the life that you want and being able to kind of evidence stack against the things that feel really true to you and really possible to you in terms of the direction that you're headed. But 2024 still just knocked me sideways. Like it felt like it was happening to somebody else at times. It was so expansive for me in the most beautiful way. It was beautiful to receive so many compliments for the way that I was supporting people and showing up in service. That was gorgeous. I really, 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 really feel so grateful for everybody who makes time to tell me that my work's helped them and impacted the way that they see their presence online and see their Substack newsletter, whether it's a kind of a mixed media publication or a standalone newsletter, whether it's something that's helping them to bring another income stream into their business, whatever it is, it just feels really, really nice. There were some really powerful sessions towards the end of last year around owning our voice as women that just literally transformed the way that I felt in terms of what I'm here to do. And I'm not ready to know what that is yet. It just felt like energetically there was something really, really special happening in a couple of the calls that I did in kind of smaller groups. So that felt really, really exciting because I've always said, Substack is a vehicle for me to be able to do the work in the world that I want to do. I love the platform. I think it's great. It's easy to use. It's easy to connect with people. There's a lot in there where we can quiet the noise. Not so much as we once could, but we can, we can quiet the noise and we can show up to create. So yeah, 2024 just felt an absolutely expansive and enormous year. It also felt turbulent in lots of ways. Some of which I've gone into previously on a previous podcast episode, which I shared with my members, which is now available for everybody. But I think at the time I was just feeling a little bit vulnerable in terms of slowing the tap down, slowing that tap down maybe to a drip, turning it off completely. And it's so funny because in our bathroom downstairs, the hot tap has a drip and it has had a drip from I don't know, a couple of months. And I keep thinking, I should probably Google that. I should probably call a plumber. Like maybe I should ask Dave if he knows how to do it. Anyway, it hasn't happened, but it is that reminder that if we want to turn the taps off, if we choose to turn the taps off within our Substack, within our business, we definitely can. But there's a momentum that exists outside of ourselves when we get to a certain point, So the Google alerts that come through now on my email that tell me that somebody else has mentioned me in an article, that's really beautiful. That wouldn't have happened a year ago. So there was a whole load of energy and connection, I want to say, all at once from lots of different types of people, a lot of whom I massively admire and have admired for years. So some of that just felt too enormous to process and integrate. And I think I'm probably nearly there now, but I think at the time, at Christmas time, trying to do those reflections, it just felt really difficult to hold and put 2024 in a time capsule and go, that was the year of 2024. I was really struggling with that. So I tracked back a little bit further and I was able to integrate some of those celebrations and to, connect with some good friends and really kind of feel that energy of going, wow, like, we did some really cool things. Like, let's celebrate that and let's feel into that. And the members at Sparkle on Substack help with that as well. We did a lovely session just before Christmas talking about what we're most proud of in our Substack publications. It was really, really beautiful session. So yeah, so all in all, I feel super proud of 2024, but I also had this energy of kind of stepping over the threshold. And I know it's arbitrary, December into January, it's not that much different, but there is a pause for me in winter time. And I did feel nervous and slightly trepidatious, just kind of stepping over that threshold and going, I don't think I'm quite ready for 2025 if it's going to be anything like 2024. So there was something in not being able to understand that there was a way to close off the year, just in an energetic way, in a way of saying thank you to the year, in a way of understanding all of the things that were really beautiful and feeling safe in all of that. So I've lent into that, guys. We're fine. Like I'm fine. But I want to share always to say that sometimes the internet can speed things up in a way that it is almost quite impossible to wrap your head around if it was a more kind of in-person analog thing. Like I've had that in events before where there was one event I did at a museum and we had like 200 school children come in. And it was all orchestrated perfectly. It was beautiful. It was brilliant. But that was when I was getting towards the end of feeling like I can't really work in events anymore. Like it's too much for my nervous system. And so there's something about the critical mass of stuff that is presented to us online that I just think that we do need to be really cautious of. Like, you hear that all the time, protect your peace. But I feel like for me, towards the end of last year, it was like, yep, close some things down, don't do as much, protect your peace, complete the vision, So there was a lot of beautiful callings that felt really nice, but also felt like they were asking me to kind of tie a ribbon around a box of 2024. And this box just had its own energy to it. I said to my husband, 2024 was almost like we have an open plan living and dining room kitchen downstairs. So I said it was almost like the Hobbit was on in the main living room on the TV, and then I was also trying to watch Wicked like on my phone in the kitchen whilst making a cup of tea. Like that's what 2024 was like. So of course I want to know, like, because I can't remember because, mum life, but of course I want to know what the orcs are up to and like, are they really going to defeat the dwarves? Like, what are the dwarves going to do? And like, the king's gone a bit mad with the gold. Like, of course I'm interested in that, but also over here, like, it's Wicked and it's like my childhood favorite story that's been woven into this new, beautiful, expansive, pink and green film to just delight all spirits across the land. And I want to be there with a cup of tea watching that. So it was like, oh wow, like there are all the things. And life's like that, isn't it? Anyway, like life is like that. But I think in terms of the two extremes of those films, you can probably get a sense of how I was starting to feel. Like this is a lot. Like if I'm going to stay plugged into the internet at large for a longer time, then I am going to have to be mindful of when the orcs want to pop up, when I can have a cup of tea with the dwarves, and when I can just sit and chill and watch Wicked with my little selection box. That's my vision now because I saw a lovely TikTok about a kind of half pink, half green snack box. Sounds impossible. It was actually really beautiful. So I'm going to do it with my best mate. I'm excited about it. So we are going to watch Wicked together and do that, and that'll be really gorgeous. But where I'm going with this is that I felt very torn at times. Do I need to understand the shadow side of what the orcs have got to teach me about who I am in the world? Do I need to see that language and those things? Or can I just be over here on my yellow brick road, actually? And that's what I've learned. That is the biggest lesson of 2024. I've spoken about it a little bit, probably before I was ready, if I'm honest. But now I'm like, oh, no, no, no. Okay, like they are all going to exist and they're going to threaten my nervous system from time to time. And that's okay. But over here, we're just having such a beautiful time. And on that yellow brick road, we're all on it, right? So, like, we're all headed towards the same destination. Like, we all want to have this path of joyful, sustainable growth on Substack. We're all going to get distracted because we're human. We're all going to feel down on ourselves sometimes. We're all going to feel like, oh, maybe the creativity's run out. We're going to feel all of the things because that is the human experience and it's fine. And so, where I feel in 2025 in terms of how I want to hold you guys and like how I want to be here for you is to encourage you into some more of that expansive visioning and planning because this is part of my creative practice and it's something that I haven't shared a lot of in this space, but it's something that I've done for over 10 years. And I really want you to feel into what that can be like for you. So the visioning, the planning, the strategic stuff, the how-tos, I'm always going to share how Substack works for sure because it's there and it's easy. I find it easy to be able to support people with Substack. It's a beautiful job to be doing. But there's part of me that wants more than that, wants to wake up your own unique creative practice in you. I've always wanted to do that, and I did do that work before I started working online and educating about Substack. So that's really what I want to do, a blend of Substack education and that personalized holistic creative practice that is going to hold you in an online space with a version of yourself that you're excited about, but a version of yourself that can step out of that frame and have a quiet time watching Wicked, with your cats or dog or by yourself, however you want to do that. So that is where I've got to in my mind in terms of reflecting on the year. I do want to mention, a few shout outs for the most phenomenal year and the people that held me in all of that, because I am super grateful to a lot of people behind the scenes, but I'm also really grateful for people showing up and being so complimentary, of my work and, the members here, but also people that I got to collaborate with. Russell Nolte on the book, How to Build a World-Class Substack. That was an awesome experience. It was a turbulent experience as well. It was hard, it was a hard thing to do, but we did it and we're super proud of it. I want to give a shout out to Beth Kempton, who came on my podcast, and Beth is like somewhat of an idol. I ended up winning a mentoring session with Beth, and it completely flipped reversed how I was thinking about myself within my business container. Just because, of the way she is, she's so soulful and beautiful. And she just gave me a bigger sense of the work that I was doing in the world and how I could better take care of myself within that. So that was really beautiful. I've taught a guest class for Beth over at her new Substack immersion Ink and Flame. So it's a writing and Substack immersion. So you can go and have a look if you want to learn from Beth some more. She's got a beautiful Substack as well. So those were some real highlights. And then, of course, everybody behind the scenes, including my husband, who has been absolutely incredible since I started this venture. He's been the biggest cheerleader, the biggest supporter. Every time I cried, he's been there with a cup of tea. You guys have probably seen him like coming in here and handing me a cup of tea and stuff. And he's just been absolutely incredible in steadying the ship. And it's really made me understand and realize how important that is for typical success. So there's a couple of things in terms of our own healing. As we're bringing ourselves to the page and we're kind of dealing with imposter syndrome and comparison and all of those sorts of things that are a natural kind of human response in kind of helping us to feel safe. And part of healing some of those wounds and taking up space in a way that feels authentic and valid to us is knowing that we've got people there that will be there for us, and really help us when some things are feeling difficult and tricky. There's also something that we can do in terms of being really, 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 really fine-tuned to the things that don't make us feel good. So there's a human tendency, and I definitely have it, to look at something for too long that isn't in service to us. And I don't really want to say more than that on it at the moment, but you will know what that is. Like if that thing that you're looking at is not in service to you and your higher good and your creative practice and process and your potential for success, turn it off, put it down, do something else. I don't have to lecture about this stuff. Like we all know it, but I feel like I really, really learned that lesson. Like I got so burnt so many times with that stuff, because there are no more answers. It's the same whether you look at it for 5 minutes or 50 minutes. It's the same. You just feel worse at the end. So it's another thing that I wanted to share. I don't want to have this be too long, but I'm so excited for 2025. We're starting off January with goal setting for the year ahead. Then we're going to do our 5-year visioning plan, which is as with Substack as part of that vision. So for some people, Substack will be a big part of the vision. For others, it'll be a smaller part of the vision. Everybody is welcome. Please come along. I'd love to see you. And then we're going to go into some more of the practical side of holding our readers and holding our subscribers and deepening connection and community, which are two of the values that I'm most passionate about in my business. So those things are coming up in February, and then I am going to be very informed by what you guys need. I've learned my lesson with Substack that it changes a lot as a platform, and I've wanted to really keep this year open to make sure that I can respond to what you guys need in the moment. So just this week, I put a question out in chat to say, does anybody need a specific tutorial? So you guys have access to the beginner's course, Stay Creative on Substack. So it's a self-guided course. It's 4 weeks long. You can access that. It's great foundation for you to start your Substack. But sometimes people just need to know how to do a specific thing. And Substack do change things in the back office. So I just wanted to make that ask available to you for you to let me know what you need. We'll be doing a lot more in the calls of hot seats and talking to each other more. So I started some of that at the back end of last year, and that was really beautiful. But the idea behind that is that I feel deeply called to give you space and time on the stage, and to give you space and time to meet the other sparklers and to collaborate. There've been some beautiful collaborations and some brilliant things that have happened off the back of things like that. And so I want to make more space for that to happen. So it feels like a network as well as a community. We've got the Friday Writers Room, which I love, on Slack now. That's working great. It's working fine. People can get into it. So that's smashing. Yeah, and then we'll just see where it all goes. I'm feeling less inclined to work with you guys on notes. I'm not going to stop doing it, but I'm just telling you, I feel less inclined because I actually don't feel wholeheartedly, I don't feel that it is of benefit to our creative practice and higher good in the world at the moment. I feel it's become, because of human nature, it's become a space that tries to grab for our attention and sort of almost causes us to feel a bit seasick. And as a neurodivergent person, as a woman in the world, like, I have to be quite careful of those filters. And I know lots of you do as well. And I feel like actually, in terms of energy and where we're deepening energy and what we're doing, there's more that I want to do with you guys around the deepening of connection, the stuff that we can do off Substack. Controversial. The stuff that we can do off Substack to encourage people in. So I want to teach some more of that as well. Like I said, I will still work with you on notes, but I feel like there's just this pull against trying to be there in a way that is going to send anyone viral, because it's a bit like playing the lottery. We just don't really know. So yeah, so we'll see where we get to on that. You guys will tell me, I'm sure. And then in 2025, I'm so excited that I am going to be speaking at Annex Story Fest on the 3rd of March. And then I will be part of the Writer MBA conference in New Orleans later on in March. So 3rd week in March, I think it is. So those things are happening, and I'm so excited about those. And then the rest of the year is just going to be a bit of a suck it and see. I'm going to do my goal setting class with you guys next week. I'm going to do my visioning, and then I'll circle back and give you guys some more updates and stuff. But I'm so excited to be here to start another year with you, to be hosting here at Sparkle on Substack. I'm 100% committed to your Substack journey. And I want you to feel like you can contact us in the Substack chat if there's anything that you want to ask. Anything that you're confused about, anything that you want to know, we're here for you. So yeah, I will leave it there, but I will see you next week. If you are in the membership and you're coming along to those membership calls, our first one is Monday, 9:30 a.m. UK time, and we're going to be doing some goal setting. So I absolutely love my goal setting framework. I can't wait to get into it. I would not have been ready last week or in December. Like, I needed a big old break. So I'm so glad that we're doing it next week. I'll see you then. For now, have a lovely weekend. And oh yeah, if you have the Substack planner that I create, it's completely free. I'll link it below this podcast. Do print a copy out if you can, if you've got a home printer, or you can send it off somewhere and get it printed. I have mine spiral bound. I will grab it. This is what we've gone for this year. So I've gone with a top spiral so that I can note things down a bit easier. But I'm so excited to get into this with you guys on Monday. So if you have that, great. If you haven't had time to download it and print it, don't worry. We can use big pieces of paper like we always do. And I will see you there. Take care. See you soon.